Balkrishna. Few people understand Uttar Pradesh better than India Today's reporters on ground and our editors on ground. Balkrishna Mukhtar Ansari was a name that was almost synonymous with terror and fear when it came to parts of eastern Uttar Pradesh. What more can you tell us about the 60+ cases against Mukhtar Ansari, convicted in some, accused in many others?
Gaurav, you are right. Not only Eastern Uttar Pradesh, I would say that Mukhtar Ansari was a name that resounded in the entire Uttar Pradesh, and there was a time when his name was synonymous with terror. During my reporting career in Uttar Pradesh, I had several encounters with Mukhtar Ansari, and I could say that some of them were not very pleasant. Like in one instance, I distinctly remember that while he was in jail, he was at that time in Lucknow jail, and as you rightly said, that there were several cases going against him at that time in court. So somebody just informed me that Mukhtar Ansari has gone to actually DGP's office. So he was supposed to appear in a court. When I got to know this, he has been to DGP's office, which was surprising because a person who comes out for appearance in court is supposed to just go back to jail. So I went there and I was surprised to see that Mukhtar Ansari with some of his people, supporters, was coming out from DGP's office, and I had an encounter and I tried to shoot him, and then some of his people tried to snatch my camera. And there was a kind of, I would say that I tried to resist, and then he said that, and then I asked him that, how come you are in DGP's office when you are supposed to go for courts appearing? And he said that there is nothing wrong, I'm a public representative, and so I had just come here to request for a transfer of a police officer in his district, which is again surprising that. And then he tried to snatch, not him, but actually his supporters tried to snatch my camera. And then I also remember that somehow I managed to convince him that snatching my camera won't help. So I went back to office, and then after about 30 minutes or so, I saw 3 or 4 cars came to our office, and there were people, Mukhtar Ansari supporter, who just wanted to ensure that I have not shot these shots, and these shots should not go on air. And then I just distinctly remember, which was again very shocking for me, that he said that Mukhtar Ansari wants to talk to you. I said that, but how can he talk to me, because he's in jail? He said that is none of your problem. And there he was on phone talking to me and saying that requesting me not to air that footage that we have got. So these are just small stories, Gaurav, but there are many stories like this.
Oh, absolutely. Many stories. And the fact that he did not want to be in prison in Uttar Pradesh, he actually thought he'd be safer in a prison in Punjab. And I'll come to that story, how there was a virtual tussle between governments of Punjab and governments of Uttar Pradesh to bring him back, Samarth, to face the long arm of the law in Uttar Pradesh. But when you talk of Mukhtar Ansari, and when information comes in that he is no more, now we know that officially a statement has been issued by the Uttar Pradesh administration. Is there apprehension that there could be, the situation could take a turn for the worse? Tell us more, Samarth, about police deployment in and around his sphere of influence, that area of influence.
Well, exactly, Gaurav. Gaurav, there's heavy police deployment around the Banda Medical College, and not just the policemen, even the Rapid Action Force Jawans have also been placed there, and we can expect CRPF Jawans could also be roped in for that particular thing, because we know with Mukhtar comes a proper gang which remained in Uttar Pradesh and had been a scary thing for the people of UP. As you just talked about the Punjab jail, we covered that homecoming of Mukhtar Ansari from the ground for India Today TV when he was returning from Punjab to Uttar Pradesh. That time also, Mukhtar Ansari and his advocates did not want him to come to UP. He had fears regarding his life, just like Atiq Ahmed when he was taken from Gujarat Sabarmati jail to the UP jail. And that was also the fear for Mukhtar Ansari, though things remained normal for Mukhtar Ansari for 2-3 years. And suddenly, 40 days back, I must tell you, 40 days back, Mukhtar Ansari complained of being poisoned. After 40 days, yet again, before 3 days, he once again complained the same. though the jail officials clarified and said that he is having roza and he's not eating food for the most of the time, and that could be one of the reasons regarding for his health. Also, a team of doctors went inside the jail to, in a way, check what Mukhtar Ansari is going through, and later they were the only doctors who referred him to the Banda Medical College. And 2 days back, when we reported from there, he went inside. He even met his brother Afzal Ansari, who is fighting on the ticket of SP from Ghazipur. Afzal Ansari, while speaking to India Today TV, said that Mukhtar's life is in danger, and I request CM Yogi Adityanath to either shift him to some particular hospital in around UP or shift him to Medanta, Lucknow, and we will bear the expense of Mukhtar Ansari's health checkups and operations whatsoever is needed for his better health. Though we see after 2 days another motion comes in where an ambulance carrying Mukhtar Ansari reaches the Banda Medical College, and that's clearly mentioned the time 8:35 p.m.
Yes.
when that particular ambulance entered inside the Banda Medical College. And later we are getting info after 2 hours, a medical bulletin comes in where it is declared that a team of 9 doctors were there to, in a way, check to do things for Mukhtar Ansari for the medical checkup. Yes, but they failed to save the life of Mukhtar Ansari. Though we can expect the family of Mukhtar Ansari and advocates to say something about this conspiracy, as Mukhtar was saying that his food is being poisoned. He used the term slow poison, dhima zehar. These were the terms being used by Afzal Ansari and Mukhtar Ansari.
I want to bring in Balkrishna on this. Samar, stay with me for a moment, because this apprehension that he would be poisoned in prison, slow poisoning, this wasn't expressed just 40 days ago. Balkrishna, he had this fear for years that if he were to remain in prison in Uttar Pradesh, he would be poisoned and it would be slow poisoning, and that is why he didn't want to come out of Ropad. He wanted to stay in Punjab jail and not be brought to Uttar Pradesh.
Yeah, this is something that he has been saying. If you just see his statement, this is something he has been saying for quite long, and his brother and his supporters have been saying so for quite long. And since the time he came back from Punjab to UP jail, he was always saying this, that the government is actually trying to get him killed inside the prison. But actually, when this encounter of Atiq Ahmed happened, that was the time that some people who were close to Mukhtar Ansari started apprehending that if this is something, if Atiq Ahmed could be killed in a police encounter in such a brazen way. So Mukhtar Ansari, that was the time that actually people supporters of Mukhtar Ansari and he himself started fearing that he was not sure whether it was safer inside the jail or outside the jail. Apart from that, one thing also, Gaurav, we need to understand that is Mukhtar Ansari at one point of time, apart from being a very a name synonym with terror, he was once also a very important political force in Uttar Pradesh.
Absolutely.
The reason being that most of the time he himself was not so his utility was clubbing together a coalition. You will remember that a time in Uttar Pradesh, there was a time when no one party would get would get majority like Yogi Adityanath has got now. So there was a time when coalition was needed and all the independent MLAs needed to be clubbed together to form a government. So that was the time that Mukhtar Ansari's political importance was too much. But since the time Yogi Adityanath got this kind of majority in Uttar Pradesh, he has been languishing in jail, and one after another case came up for him, and that was the time that
this was the name that was almost synonymous with terror and fear at one point of time, but he lived in fear, mortal fear, that he would be poisoned in prison. And he died in Banda jail. Was he poisoned? Was it a cardiac arrest? Of course, any death in prison, there is an investigation that is carried out, and we'll be tracking that story very, very closely. A quick break, back with lots more. This is a major developing story. It could have law and order implications and ramifications in not just one part of Uttar Pradesh, but across multiple parts, and that is why there's massive deployment of police forces that is taking place.